Well, good evening, Sidetrack Sunday, folks. What's happening out there in YouTube land? What's going on? It happens to be April the 6th, and this is the first show of April, which is unusual for me. I usually don't do the first show, but as we all know, that John number 2 has been playing as the count here for the last couple of months, and but he'll be back. He will be back next month, the month of May. So hopefully everybody is doing well out there tonight. Appreciate you hanging out with me. Let's see what's going on. Everybody's saying hi to everybody else. And I'm just waiting for YouTube to kind of catch its act here real quick. Oh, let's see here. All right, there it goes. Hey. And of course, I'll have to shut that down here in a bit. But anyway, hopefully everybody can hear me and we're doing good. So, all right. I am going to go ahead and run through the normal stuff. Welcome aboard, everybody. Like I said, hopefully everybody is doing well out there in YouTube land. Going to be a fairly unique show tonight. I'm going to do something. I think I'm going to do something a little differently than what we had in the past, or what I have in the past. We'll see how well this works. It may not work out at all, but hey, why not? Let's go ahead and when better to do something new than when we're live, right? So. First things first here, I'm going to go ahead and run through the participants list. I have Dave down there at Carolina Foothills Railway. We've got Dave over at DB Tech. We've got Mr. Joe Rader over at the Black Rock Central. We got Mr. John Benicki. We've got John Train BFGR in the house. We got Mr. Ken Amos over at B&O 51. We got Mr. Dwight over at the Curly Express. We got Bob over at PK&W Model Works. We got Mr. Ray Bertelson. We've got me, and I really don't know if I'm here, but hey, we'll deal with it. We've got Mr. Ron Moen. We've got Santa Fe Bob in the house. We've got John number 2 over at the Schuylkill River Valley. And last but not least, we've got Steven over at the Wig Wag Workshop. Welcome in. If I missed anybody, it's because of the fact that you haven't chatted yet. So, a torpedo bat is what's swinging. Alrighty then. I don't know. How about chat, reaction, timestamp, moderation? Okay. All right. Well, I can't do it there. Well, obviously, I won't be able to do what I wanted to do. Well, dang. Oh, well, that's fine. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll just have to figure out another way of doing it. I do want to bring up something else, though. I was going through the other day, and there was a new channel, not a new channel, or a new to me channel. It was a new recommendation that had shown up on YouTube, and I figured, you know what, we'll just go ahead and put the link into the chat here and let you all take a look. I do believe that Mr. Ben is into O-Gauge, but he's got quite a following already, but he only has like 112 videos. I haven't had a chance to really go in and check out what he's got going on. It looks like he does a lot of tours, I should say, layout tours and things of that nature. But he's got this thing that he calls All Trains Considered, and that's what popped up on my feed the other day. So if you're not subscribed to him, go check him out. And we'll go from there. Hey, Great Northern JJ just came in. Welcome in there, bud. I'm trying to see. Hey, Steve 87 PSAP just walked through the door. So, like I said, another channel out there to go ahead and take a look at. Like I said, he's got a lot of subscribers, not a lot of content, but the thing of it is what I did see was pretty cool. And then there was one other one that showed up on my feed the other day, and unfortunately, because of the fact that I've gotten used to the point now that I have to reboot this computer before I start doing a live stream. So I have to shut everything down. And of course, when I did, well, that kind of went by the wayside. I'm trying to think. Maybe I put their. I don't think. No, I didn't. I was going to say maybe I put their name into the name list, but I did not. That would have been good if I would have just copied it over and gone from there. So, but I didn't. Hey, there's Heath over at Humanity Junction. And did I see that Opa Dodge is in the house as well? I did. Welcome in, gentlemen. And so, I think we'll go ahead and we'll just get into a couple of things. There is one other thing. Heath who? That was just wrong. Funny, but wrong. Gotta love it. Anyway, one thing I did want to mention, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this or not, but for whatever reason, my YouTube, I can't see. It used to be you could go to your channel dashboard within YouTube. It wasn't the actual dashboard that everybody else sees, but it's the, hey, Ed over at Happy Valley Hobbies is here. Welcome in. It's the where you look at all your content and all that, and it tells you how many videos you've got up and so on and so forth. And there's a spot down there for comments and subscribers. Hey, Deep Run Railroad, welcome in, Mike. There's a point down, and you can go down and view the comments. Well, if I click on that and open it up in a new tab, there's no comments. It says something went wrong. So I actually reached out to YouTube the other day, which apparently, that did absolutely nothing. I don't know if anybody else has seen that or not. But the only way that I can actually see that somebody has left me a comment is to wait for it to show up in email and then actually go to the content and be able to reply there. So, okay, good. So it is a problem. Okay. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that, buddy. I used to like you. Zoinks. Wait a minute. Hold on. Off of that. That's the one. YouTube has been weird lately. When isn't it weird? Did I just see Sparky in here? Yep, there's Dave. Good evening, Dave. That's exactly my sentiment there, Ken, is the fact that YouTube has always been weird. Yes. That's the problem, Bob, is the fact that that's what I'm talking about. Going into the studio and being able to see the comments, you can't see them there. It just comes up and says, oops, something went wrong, and that's as far as it goes. So I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I haven't heard anything back from them, but I didn't even realize that you could leave feedback there for them that would go straight over to them. Yeah, isn't it, John? I tell you, it is a rough crowd. It's a good thing I've got thick skin. If not, I might get offended. Oh, wait a minute. Opa Dodge has got it. Thanks for the couplers again. I switched them out. Now I have 9 coaches working. Nice. Cool deal. No problem, Opa Dodge. I'm glad I could help. I'm glad I could help out in that department. And hopefully Cayenne and you can go ahead and enjoy those stickers. And for anybody else who has left me a message asking for a sticker, I will get them out. Things have been ridiculous. Things have just been ridiculous for me. Hey, JP over at the Beaumont Hill subdivision, welcome in. So, anywho, That was the one thing. And the other thing of it is the fact that I really do appreciate, I mean, there's been a lot of comments on the last couple of videos that I've had. And actually, if you look over my right shoulder over there, you might be able to see that there are some trees over there now too. They were just kind of staged there so I could get an idea as to, as to what's going on, but I need to do some work over there. I also have to figure out how I want to paint scenery on the backdrop. I know what I'm going to use for paint. The thing of it is I was telling this to the Sidetrack Sunday crew earlier, the last time that I painted any type of a landscape was when I was in high school, and that was, dare I say, 40 some years ago. So it's been a bit. It has been a while. So Sparky's saying his next meet and greet is going to be in Ontario, Canada. Get your passports. End of August. Yeah, I probably won't be able to make that one. That's right after our family vacation. Let's see. Hills is saying I got kicked out because of my paint. No, actually, I did my the artwork that I used to do was pretty cool. So last century, yeah, exactly, Ed. Yeah, exactly. The problem was my art teacher loved the stuff that I did. The thing of it is he got a little annoyed with me because the only thing I did was seascapes. That was the only thing I was good at. The most recent, it's not in studio, it's the dashboard. Most recent comments show up, but you click the answer and it goes to a section, comes up with an error. Exactly. Yep, exactly. Yeah, you can see that they're there, but you can't reply to them because that part of the studio just went. So, anywho, he needed a category. Oh, geez. Oh, there's the Rickster over at the Fultz Bailey Model Railroad. That's as far as he got in the alphabet. Oh, jeez. God. Man, you all are a tough crowd tonight. Jeez. Anyway. And the figure, I put myself up for this. The funniest thing of it is, and it's going to seem a little odd, but we need a tour of the scenery progress. It's looking good from. You'll see more of this coming week. I unfortunately, with the way that this computer is right now, I don't have a way of hooking up a camera to take over there. So you're just going to have to bear with me on that one. Yeah, exactly, JJ. With friends like these, yeah, exactly. You got it. I needed the chuckle fix from Ray. There you go. Well, you'll get that. Any rate, hopefully they'll still let the Americans in the country in August. Anyway, zoinks. If you all noticed in the description, now that my brain is just going, of course, not that it's ever on track to start off with, but it's the thing that I wanted to bring up, and I know that this is a can of worms, and it's probably going to open up all sorts of interesting discussions and such. Canada has eggs. Probably from the geese. Okay. Oh boy. Yes, I went there. Anyway, You wanted to bring up a can of worms? Why did you eat a can of... No, I... I've been up to Canada once, but that was Niagara Falls. That's that. Well, actually, I've been there twice. I take that back. I've been to Niagara Falls once, and I've been to Vancouver. He should have just went fishing. Oh man. Anyway. Okay, now that my mind is, like I said, my mind is just going off and left me here. Do we have to get that Canadian? Oh boy. So the kind of the topic for tonight, which is going to lead into future topics, obviously, is for those of us that are in, or for those of you that are in here right now, the model railroad or model railroader that has distinction in your mind, or is the one that really that you really look at to get ideas from. Who is that? Which model railroad is that? And if it's not one of the ones that I've thought about in the past, obviously let me know in the comments and we can go from there. But I mean, obviously, you know, going all the way back to the guys that that made us model railroaders and not railroad modelers, were John Allen and Frank Ellison. But there's a bunch more of them out there. I know. I mean, I've got a list of 16 or 14 of them over here. Yeah, John Allen was the first. Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, between him and Frank Ellison, you know, those were the guys that made us railroad or model railroaders and not railroad modelers. You know, but I was thinking about Whitney Towers is the biggest pleasure. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen that one. I'll have to mark that one down and see what I can find out about that one. I'll have to see about that one. Thank you, JJ or JP. Let's see. Exactly, Bob. That was one of the things. I mean, it was just amazing the things that he came up with. And somebody had just made let's see. Somebody, David Pop, had just mentioned he's building a new HO layout for the magazine. Now David Pop got me more or less interested in operations with his old Naugatuck Valley N scale layout. Kind of forgot about Mr. Pop. John Benacki mentioned him, Malcolm Furlow, Tony Custer. Yep, Alan McClellan. Absolutely. Malcolm, much like John Allen, with the way that he was able to make his railroads seem a lot larger than what they really were. You know what I mean? I mean, that was his use of scenery and things of that nature. Malcolm and John were just, yeah. I'm going to mark those down because I'd forgotten. Oh, I already had Malcolm down there, and I actually did have Tony Custer with the nickel plate, and of course Alan McClellan with the the Virginian and Ohio. Let's see. Thomas Clemson. Don't think I've ever heard of him, Dave. All right. The Chicago Museum of History, of History and Industry. That I believe the model railroader may have done something on them. On one of the Dream Plan Build DVDs. If not, I know that they definitely did one on the Navy Pier. Up there. Let's see what else. It was just announced that so David Pop is doing not only the Naugatuck, but he's actually going to do one in HO scale. Yeah, I don't subscribe to Model Railroader anymore. So I don't know. I guess I'd have to go look that up. Let's see. No one. Whoops. The chat is jumping, and I know I saw Tammy and Ray jump in here. John Armstrong and the Canandaigua Southern. Absolutely, JJ. Absolutely. I don't know about that one, JP. Oh, sorry to hear about that, Ray. Tell her I hope she feels better. Oh, okay. I got you, JP. I'm just taking some notes off to the side as you guys are going through. I'm probably going to have to go back through here once we're all done with this and and go from there. Thunder Mesa, Dave Meek. I think I may have heard of that one. I know that there was one that showed up on the Dream Plan Build here again. That the guy was a big follower of Tolkien, and he had a whole bunch of stuff that it was a G-scale outdoor layout, and he was a pediatrician. And of course, the kids would come over, and it was just a ball for him. So, yeah, that was really, really interesting. Let's see. What else have we got going on here? Sadly, every name passed. Yeah, exactly. I know for you, Opa Dodge, it was more of, of actually being on the rails and being around the German railroads and such. I mean, I get that. I guess that's kind of where I kind of lean with mine, being from Maryland and being near the Northeast Corridor. Yeah, originally let's put it this way, folks. This is kind of the dream layout, but the ultimate dream would have been to be able to run a 4-track main, and everything and be able to emulate the Northeast Corridor. But you can't do that as a single person. That's where, Keith Paysinger and the Northeast Corridor Historical Society, have done what they've done with their traveling layout. And that thing is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Let's see. Yep. Now I've already got him on the list there, Bob. Absolutely. I actually follow his son as actually now the moderator for the Virginian and Ohio Facebook page. And there's a whole bunch of people in there talking about, hey, I can remember this and I can remember that. And there's a huge, huge, huge following for the V&O. There really is. There really, really is. I had an uncle that had an HO layout filling his 3-car garage. That's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. Let's see here. Google Earth. My influence was a rail yard that I walked through every day, going to school and work. Oh, there you go. There you go. And that, yeah, exactly. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, a lot of us have taken what we see in real life and tried to scale it down to be able to use it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, you know. But we have to start someplace, and that's kind of what it is. You're pulling from different people, but you're also pulling from real life because it's tangible. It's right there in front of you. Let's see. In the last 20 years, great inspiration for me with Jeff Abbott's Cascade route. All right. I wish I could remember the name of the fella that did the panoramic division of the Rio Grande. That was one of the older. That was on one of the older model railroader video. That was one of the layout. I think that was layout tour number 1, where they talked to him. Sorry again, I'm taking notes. Anthony, same for me. I don't know any of these guys. I build models, always have talent. Exactly. You got it. I mean, it's just what we attach ourselves to, you know. Joe Fugate. And I did have Bruce Chubb with the Sunset Valley Oregon system. I tell you what, one of the things, and I know this is going to be coming up because this is all a part of what I've got going on, or I'm going to try to do going forward, is I want to have this historical thing that I want to put together. And I know that one of the things that was always asked of Bruce Chubb was, you know, Frank Ellison saw model railroading as an art form. Bruce saw it more as a science, because by the time he got involved in it, he was building all the electronics for his. So, you know, that was the big change. But Joe Fugate, I'll have to look that one up there, Bob. All right. Anyway. Let's see. John Benacki had said something about a local fellow, Pennsylvania model, couple of magazines. His basement is 45 by 110 and has the horseshoe curve on it. Whoa. That's definitely something I want to look into. And I know I am way behind on the chat. I will try to catch up here eventually. Chubb and Fugate. Okay, somebody else has heard of Fugate. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, and see, I mean, a lot of what I did early on was, you know, just the same thing, just messing around, making little scenes, and then, you know, trying to relate it to what I'm doing now. Let's see. I can't. Rick Strange. I can't spell his name, but Tom McCombs. Combi Publishing is the guy I like. Okay, I'll have to. We'll have to look him up. Yeah, that one there is an easy one for me. That was Mr. Howard Zane. And the Piedmont, the Piedmont division of the Western Maryland. Yes, and he is on the list. Absolutely cannot forget Howard Zane. Let's see, West Colton, back in the, okay. Was introduced to trains by Model Railroader in 1979 in middle school with Bob Haig's new electric locomotive. Okay. Have to look that name up. It's funny, Ed, because I actually believe I really started getting into the hobby more or less in the early to mid 80s. The first time. I mean, obviously we had a layout that came up, like I've said long ago, came up the end of October, got tore back down in the beginning of March or the middle of March. But yeah, the Utah route. I know about the Utah belt, and I cannot think of it. That was is that Eric Broom? Oh, what the heck is his name? Yeah, Dave Frary and John Olson. Yes, you have to mention Dave Frary and John Olson. Absolutely. Again, two guys that know about scenery, without a doubt. I just hope the heck that I could live up to them one of these days. Yeah, Daryl Cruz. I mean, his layout is something else, and the trials and tribulations that he's going through painting his rocks. Ugh. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have that issue where I'm not being that particular with what I'm doing over here. That would drive me crazy. I like being a proto lancer. To be honest. Let's see here, Dave. As many of you inspired me to work at operations because of some of you asking for it. Absolutely. Yeah, the Utah belt layout. Yeah, he amazes me that I like I said, I've got the Utah belt up here, but I cannot think of his name. And I think his name is like Eric, and that his last name is B, but I think it's Bruman or something like that. Hey, Anthony from the Georgia Sun Belt is in the house. Welcome in. Let's see. That's not a basement. That's a battle star. The only master builder I know of is Joseph Brandy or Brendel. Okay. Yeah, there is quite a few companies out there that will build a layout if you've got the cash. And absolutely, Joe, anybody that is familiar with I-95 in Baltimore, Ed David he's only on Facebook, but his Canton Railroad is insane. He just got finished or is still working on the Fort McHenry Tunnel. Eric Bruman. That's it. There we go. Thank you, Bob. Eric Bruman, yes. What gets me with Eric, and I'm still way behind on chat. I understand it, but one of the things that gets me with Eric is the fact that you talk about running a railroad as realistically as possible. Here's a guy that when a new style locomotive comes out and is available, and sometimes may not even be available, he goes ahead and decommissions his older and sells off his older locomotives to be able to buy the brand new stuff. And that's how, I mean, his layout, you talk about a layout never being finished. That one's never going to be done because he just keeps evolving it. It's insane. That is just, I mean, to do what he's doing with that is really, really wild. Correction, Jeff's Railroad was the Oregon division. Was that Jeff Abbott's, JP? You can let me know when I get down here. Okay, it's back. It froze for me. By no means did I try to mimic or... Yeah, exactly. No, we're not talking about, we're talking about model railroads that influenced us, people that influenced us to do what we're doing, the reason why we keep doing it. Anyway, there's one down here. Do you remember the Southern Large? If you're talking about Laurel Joyner's Great Southern, he's on the list. He is on the list, JP. Let's see. Yeah, Bruman's manipulation of his, it's just ridiculous. I don't know. I really, really don't know. John Olson built the Jerome in Southwestern. Okay. How's the farm scene coming along, Ray, or the Frankenstein Loco? Hold that question for later there, Sparky. I will get back to that before I end the show. There we go. Mayans floors are Joe, Sparky, JJ, JP, Tom Garassi. Thanks, Dwight. Appreciate that. This is a very deep conversation, George, and not the normal conversation we get. Well, yeah. Let's see. There is a video out by OGR magazine they call the Great American Train Layouts, where they show some huge layouts. One of the things that I don't know, I don't know what happened to Laurel Joyner's layout. I know that was built in its own house. I don't know what happened to it when he passed away. I'd love to know if that is still around or not. Let's see. There's a guy from Roy Smith's Facebook page that does it. Okay. I'm on that Facebook page, but I mean, it's. I don't get a chance to. I don't get a chance to really run through that as much as I'd like to. Also like to think the way Ken think and yeah, Ken Peterson, absolutely. There's another one. Ken Peterson. All right. You missed the comment before that, Ray. Okay, I obviously missed the comment before that one. Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's still Eric Bruman, and the way he goes ahead and does those with his locomotives just blows me out of the water. Michael Schuster's in the house. Welcome in. On time, sir. Ward Kimball. Well, you all are throwing out some names. A few of these I recognize, others I don't. That's one I certainly do not. All right. Anyone watch KRP models? Corey does some great work. Corey. Okay. All right. All righty. Oh, come on. Get off of there. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I was going to say that's something else. It seems that there's been a lot of folks that have jumped off lately. Do these people have YouTube and the number one moderator is falling behind John number 2? No, to be honest, Sparky, I don't think a lot of these railroads have YouTube channels. A lot of these were obviously long before. Long before. Yeah, Laurel had a fantastic. Yeah, they did a couple different ones, John. They did a couple different ones about the Great Southern. I saw the original one with Alan Keller, and then they did another one later on. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of them have passed. I will post a list in the description. And one of the things that I'm thinking, or one of the things that I wanted to do, but I can't do it because I don't have the ability to do it, is be able to run a poll to see what the feeling of who knows what, or who knew everybody, or the most of these folks. Is there a Facebook page or something to the Gory and Defeated? I don't think so, Bob. My dad had Bruce Chubb's Operation book. Read that till it fell apart. Yeah, there's a few people that have the older books that just going through them, just ugh. Yeah. Ward Kimball had a saying, "Who dies with the most trains wins." There you go. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, a lot of these folks, were long before YouTube. Obviously, you know what? There's one person in here there's one person that I've got on my list that nobody's mentioned yet. And that would be the Franklin and South Manchester. I was really surprised that nobody brought that one up. Yeah, I am really surprised that nobody has brought up the Franklin and South Manchester. Hey, Todd Armstrong, welcome in. The other one that I've got on the list that nobody mentioned was Jim Hediger. That was another one, the Ohio Southern. Like I said, that was another one that was on the list. Yeah, I know. Pele does some unbelievable work. I mean, I have to take a look at the pictures that he posts up on Facebook. I have to look at them twice or 3 or 4 times before I realize that that's not a picture of something outside. That's on his desk. His scenery work drives me crazy. It's just really unbelievable. Oh, hey, Randall Ellison's in the house. Hey, welcome in, bud. Anthony Opa Dodge was saying there was one guy in Toronto a few years ago telling me I inspired him. Now he has a channel of 8,000 subscribers. Isn't it weird how that works? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Goodwin Ken Amos. What did Ken post that I missed? Because the chat just jumped on me here. All right, so there was a fellow in here by the name of Lance that I must have missed. Like I said, I'm sure I'm going to miss some stuff in here, and I'm going to have to go back and watch the chat once YouTube puts it up. Yeah, Malcolm Furlow was just, yeah. Unbelievable. Southern Pacific Oregon Division. All right. I have to go take a look at that. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Al is unbelievable. I know that he's got a lot of. I mean, he's hanging out with Howard. He's gotten a lot of pull, and he's able to do some stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's. I'm gonna eventually get. I've got to get over and see Howard Zane's layout. I know he's not in the best of health, and I've said it a couple of times, and I know Ken, you keep mentioning it. That you can get in over there, and I have been so stinking busy. I just have not the. All right. Lance Meinheim. Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. Except for the damn scene that he can't seem to finish. Yeah, okay. Uh-huh. It's in Ellicott City. It's up near, obviously, it's up near me. It's about half hour, 45 minutes from me. Wow. Yeah, I heard that the New Jersey High Railers had to move. You are correct, but I don't know where it went. Okay. Yeah, those damn scenes get you all the time. Yep. Yeah, it's probably about an hour and a half for you, Anthony. But yeah, eventually I do want to get over there. I've said it for years when I found out that he was running before the showstopper, that he was running the GSMTS, and I actually got to meet and talk to him a couple of times. And then obviously he sold the show off, and then the new guys have been running it for the last 10 years, I guess it is, something like that. But was writing about one of Ward's collection and Disney. Okay. Contact Al if anybody wants to see Howard's layout. Gotcha. Yep. I've heard that, and of course, apparently, so does Eldersburg. There's a B&O station out there too. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's the same thing with SMT with Harrison. Love watching the stuff that he does and gets in them, and so on and so forth. There we go. Martin Wahlberg, not so much model railroad, but scenic stuff. Gotcha. Gotcha. Martin Wahlberg. I'll have to look that one up too. I think I have seen Toyman. It depends on which toy, because there's a couple of them out there. There are a couple of them out there. That's yeah, there we go. That's a great question, Opa Dodge. It's kind of hard to gauge. It really is. I look at the fact that I guess for our community, if you're over 1,000, you're one of the larger channels. And then underneath of that, it's everything else. I mean, and it's kind of tight. So, but yeah, Boomer Diorama. There's another one that I've heard. Yep, and absolutely, it's all perspective. Whose perspective? I don't know, but it's all perspective. Years ago, exactly. I mean, believe it or not, but Sparky's one of the reasons why my channel is where it's one of the reasons why I've gotten the subscribers that I've got. So that's still, yeah. I hear you. I hear this. I'm at what I've been watching mine. I think I'm at like 690. I'd love to be able to hit 1,000, but still, it seems to be unreachable to me. But it is what it is. Let's see. Whoop, no, this is the one I wanted. My wife fired me up in the 90s. Her mother told me I was spending too much time and money on trains. The wife's response was, "It's trains in the garage or it's girls in bars." Exactly, Bob. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's why I'm not trying to mimic anybody. I'm really not. I'm doing my own thing over here. But like you said, you have to be able to pull inspiration and techniques and see what works better for you. Because some things okay, well, this guy's doing this and this guy's doing that and that guy's doing this, and I've tried all three and none of it works for me. I'm going to try something a little bit different or a combination, and go from there. And that we it's what works for us. I was discovered because I discovered Sparky because of Roy Smith. Yeah, rest in peace, Roy. That was a heck of a layout that he was working on. Yeah, that's one of the goofy things is the fact that YouTube still does this. Oh, you haven't seen anything from this person in a while, and they just take it away, and it's like, hey, YouTube is like another hobby. I hope not. I try not to make it another hobby. I just want to try and keep the reason why. All right, we're a little bit off topic. That's fine. I do what I've been doing with putting out a video every week or trying to put out a video every week. Only because of the fact, and this goes back to what happened in 2019, really, where I started building this thing, and as it kept going, and I was seeing progress, it just fueled the fire that much more. It kept stoking the fire, and I just thought to myself, even now, hey, James from the Dundas Junction, welcome in. I just feel as though I want to be able to share what's going on down here. And the thing of it is one of the things that I've found over the years is because of the fact that this is the first true model railroad that I've built, and I'm treading in uncharted territory for me. I found that if I post up a video asking a question saying, hey, have you ever done, or have you ever seen, or has anybody ever tried? Yeah, it's just like everything else. You've got 100 people in here, you'll get 99 different opinions on how to fix it. But that's fine, because I can take all that information and be able to go ahead and formulate a plan and be able to go from there. And I think because of the fact that, and it's nothing, of course, what happened right after 2019 when the showstopper hit, well, it was the only way we could get information. And, this community helped push me through that. Because without it, I don't know. I don't know where this would have ended up. It probably would have ended up out in the back 40, you know. But anyway, you know, it's just one of those things. This community, to me or for me, has always been supportive. Yeah, they pick on me. You guys pick on me left and right. That's fine. It keeps me going. You know, it keeps me going, and that's what it is. So, you know, that's it. You know, I do feel for our friends out in the Midwest, or actually from Arkansas to Tennessee. Oh my gosh, you know, oh man, exactly, JJ. And I would expect nothing less when I do these things. I expect nothing less. I really, really do. I really do appreciate, because of the fact that no matter how much we pick on each other and mess with each other, at the end of the day, when somebody has a serious question or there is a problem, we're there to help them out. We help them get through it, you know, and that's what we do. We're a community above everything else, you know. So let's see, there's been some other comments in here. Let's see, there's one here. Raise some of the information. It was unattainable, but I picked it up when I could. Exactly. Exactly. And now it's yeah. The thing is there was a huge. What did you think of those photos I shared, Ray? Oh, if you shared some, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, Randall, I'm sorry. If you shared something up on Facebook, with the way that this computer is running right now, I can't have too many windows open. If not, it'll go nuts on me. So I had to pull. You know, I have to shut everything down, and actually had to reboot the computer before I started tonight. I ran out of money. Don't look here, dude. James, I got empty pockets myself, bud. Just saying, I don't want to be picked on during stream. I beg to differ there, Bob. Yeah, you know, and you're right, and I know that there's a couple of guys that I would love to shout out. Big Bill over at the South Brooklyn Railroad. He was a big help in getting my YouTube channel going. Him and John, you know, that were part of the YouTube model builders. You know, and how hanging out with those guys a couple of times that I got to hang out with them. You know, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and you're right, Opa Dodge. There has been turnover, and there's always going to be turnover. There's going to be folks that are just, you know what, I'm tired of doing this, and they back off. You know, and then there's others that have come up that have just stepped up to the plate, and I can think of a few folks right off the top of my head. One of them would be Ron over at Classic Model Trains. I mean, that the way that he's grown since he's been on my channel, what was it, 2.5 years ago, I think it was. I mean, because of the fact that he's fun to watch, he's informative, and I mean, the stuff that he's gotten a hold of, yeah, some of those videos can be a little on the long side, but he takes you through every possible thing within that, because as he states, a lot of this stuff he's learning at the same time the rest of us are learning watching him screw it up. So, you know, but yeah, I mean, there has been a lot of folks that have backed off for different reasons. And I know, Opa Dodge, you talked about it. I caught bits and pieces of it. What was it, last night or Friday night or Friday afternoon? it's a shame that there has to be people out there like that, but there's always going to be. And it's all on how we deal with them, or how an individual deals with them. We can't let one or two bad apples spoil the bunch. And I know turning a blind eye or turning a deaf ear, it gets to a point where you eventually have to put your foot down and say something. And, it's been, where was I going with this? I'll admit I was bullied as a kid, and it is what it is. I look back on it now, and it changed me, but it also didn't define me. As I got older, I learned to deal with it and found different ways of dealing with it. But for the most part, like I said, for the most part, most of us in here are here for the right reason, and that's to help each other out and help support each other. So I blame Rick the Tree. I blame Heath, but that's a different story for a different time. Yeah, that's just it, Opa Dodge. I mean, like I said, I find your parody stuff freaking hilarious. I haven't caught up with it, but it's or kept up with it, but it's just that's your thing, and I find it funny. I really, really do. And Ray Bertelson was just up here saying, a year and a half ago. It's hard to believe it's been a year and a half ago, dude. But I love those meet and greets, because of the fact that we're able to take, going from the camera here and being able to catch up with a lot of these people in person. And it's great. We all know who the good apples are. The community has said this, and and the bad ones are easy to block. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You hope you don't have to go that route, but sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. Hey, Real Artist is in the house. Welcome in. And that would be, because I'm going to go and goof it up, that would be Mike. A couple of quick notes. Oh, yeah, Lou Sassy. There you go. There's another good one. I was just about ready to switch topics here. Lou Sassy. Oh my gosh, yes, with his photography skills and what he's done. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like I said, I love it here. I really do. And there are been here since the start of the night. Okay, sorry, Mike. Wayne Wazalowski. Now there. Wow. Yes. Now there's a fella that not only could he build some stuff, but there's another guy that had a heck of a sense of humor. That one there had a heck of a sense of humor. Let's see. I have only one YouTube meet and greet left in me, so this should be a good one. Okay. I did want to touch on a couple of things here real quick before we get too much further. Sparky, you asked about the Frankenstein locomotive. He's still sitting on the layout. Said no saddles. That was good, Steve. Yeah, the I haven't done anything with the Frankenstein locomotive recently. I am still working on the FP7As. I have them gloss coated. I have them ready to put the decals on. I just haven't gotten up the nerve to go ahead and start messing with the decals. So they haven't been decaled yet. Once the FP7s are out of the paint shop, then the next one in will probably be Frankenstein. Frank Sinatra. Boy. Rod Stewart. I'd like to know if there is anything besides the still pictures on Sir Rod Stewart's railroad. Because the only thing I've seen are some still pictures. I have yet to see video on his layout. There is a fellow, and I have to go back through one of the old VHSs. But there was a fellow that I think is over in New Jersey that models the Great Northern and its antecedents and N-gauge, and he's got animation on that layout. To the point where he has a rotary coal dumper that's dumping coal into a ship. He's got some other odd, interesting things going on that layout. To the point too here where he also has, when the lights go down, he's actually got fireworks going off in the background. They're not actual fireworks; it's all fiber optics because he's a I can't think of what type of. I think he's actually a professor of some sort. Roger Daltrey. Interesting. I didn't know that Roger Daltrey had a layout. Mike Pfeiffer. Okay. Remy Gang. I have never heard of that name. Oh my gosh, this list of mine has gotten grown exponentially here. There is a video of Rod Stewart that was covered in the news. Yeah. Okay. I think I've seen bits but I haven't seen like a full presentation of it. How about Sheldon? All right, Joe. Don't think I've heard that name. Yeah, trust me, I have to go through quite a few of them too. Oh boy. Wow. Holy moly. Oh, Michael Gross. The funniest thing of it is the first Model Railroader Dream Plan Build DVD. He actually does the add-on to that, the extra at the end. Oh my goodness. Tom Schneider. Kid, look, man. I still have that DVD somewhere. What's that? The first? I do too. It's upstairs. I've got most of them, not all of them, but most of them. Neil Young has a large. uh, Jackie Gleason. Yeah, I'd heard that he had. We are all we're all famous. We all have train layouts. Good one, James. Good one, James. Um. Anyway, like I said, Frankenstein, still working on that one. Like I said, the FP7s, once they come out of the paint shop, that'll probably be the next one in. The other thing of it is obviously scenery is still continuing on the north end of the dam. I'm hoping to have some more done on that this week. We'll see what happens. Thankfully, I'm not on call this coming week. I just go off call, or I'll be off call as of 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So that'll help. Let's see. Sparky, you had asked about something else too, and I forgot what it was. Museum of Science and Industry. Yep. I'm not famous. I'm a troll in the hobby. Well, we all start somewhere, Rick. We all start someplace. Almar, I'm the only modeler in the house, and coming third in popularity behind Joyce and you're right, JP. I mean, the thing of it is like I said, I wanted to work from back to front, because once I start putting stuff on the front of that hill, it's going to be harder to put obviously anything in the back on the backdrop. So, hey, Caboose 1973 Channel 1 is in the house. Welcome in. Nice save from an early technical, but not that. All right. Internet says Elton John and Tom Ham. Okay. So, the other thing, hey, Darby Rail Services, welcome in. She was actually on last week. She was in the chat, but I haven't heard anything from her this week. So, Rail House Ducks. Tom Hanks, damn fingers. Okay. Tom Hanks. Welcome in there, Robert. Anyway, the other thing that I did want to mention, for those, obviously we're still a ways out, but the Great Scale Model Train Show, the October show, which I usually do the hosting for a YouTube meet and greet, is still on. That will be, that's now the end of October. They changed the dates. For whatever reason, it's now later in October instead of the beginning or the middle of October. The next show is actually May 3rd and 4th, which I'll probably be there for that. But the one that I will be at for that I'll be hosting the meet and greet will be October 25th and 26th. Now, the thing with October 25th and 26th is the fact that that is actually 2 weeks after the Stolamaris Crab Feast. So this year, the Crab Feast and the train show do not fall on the same weekend, which is a bit of a bummer. But it is what it is. And it'll actually give us a chance to maybe do something otherwise. Maybe I can talk to Chris McNally over at the Baltimore Streetcar Museum. Maybe we can get down there and see that. I'm sure he'd absolutely love to have a whole bunch of YouTubers invade that museum. Oh, so, but yeah, that's now what's going to be going on in October. That'll be like I said, the Crab Feast will begin in the beginning of October, and the train show is going to be at the end of October. So it is what it is. 60th birthday with my granddaughter. Cool. Very nice. Yeah, Dave, you've got next week, my friend. Yep, you've got that. Yeah, for those that don't know, Dave over at DB Tech will have next week's show. And then the week after that, I do believe, yep. So the April schedule is obviously myself, then Dave, then Brian over at the Iron Horse, and then finishing up with Bob at the end of the month. So basically, this time around, myself and Bob kind of flipped, and then Brian filled in for Bob, so Bob's going out a week. So yeah, Bob will be at the end of the month. So it's going to be myself, then Dave, then Brian over the Iron Horse, and then finishing up with Bob for the month of April. Let's see. Is there anything else going on? Anybody else have anything? Gary at one of the big train stores once. Good guy. Gary Coleman. Oh my goodness. Finish that bridge right. The bridge is done. The bridge is done. It's the dam scene. It's taking forever because I wanted to get the scenery on either side done. So Bob has a month to work on sound in the dark room. Yeah, he's got to find some more carbon black, Steve. Oh my goodness. Well, we've been going at this now for over an hour. No excuses, Ray. I don't have excuses. I'm just saying. No, I don't have the foam in yet either, Ken, because I haven't gotten on that side of the dam. I'm still working on the north side. Oh my goodness. Remember the duck. Oh, geez. Sounds like we need a scenery challenge. Yeah, I'm already scenery challenged. I don't need any help in that department. Hey, Frank, Steeler fans in the house. Welcome in. Long time no see, bud. Oh, geez. Now we're picking on the duck. What is? Oh, sorry to hear that, Robert. Hopefully you're doing better. Hopefully you're doing better. Now you see me, now you don't. What was it looking for, Bob? Sorry. JJ has a goat and you have a duck. It's not all it's quacked up to be. You know, it's really not. Looking for better audio from me. I'll see if I can deliver. And Anthony has a kangaroo. Oh, any rate. Okay, folks. Well, I'm about ready to call it off. I got to take a road trip tomorrow, unfortunately. Not for work, but I have to take a road trip, so I've got to go ahead and drop off here. Hopefully everybody has a good week. Stay safe, stay healthy. And those of us that are having issues, get better. Special shout out here to oh my gosh, man. I am terrible. I am absolutely terrible. With Robert, Tammy, Missy, anybody else who's having health issues, get better. Stay safe. You all know the deal. Wait for the high ball. Green tracks ahead. We'll catch you all next time. Be safe. God bless. We'll see you.